Live. My name is Alex Simon. Welcome in. This is the American Leeds broadcast. Ollie Ward, we finally were able to hook up and, do a little bit of a chinwag, a podcast about what's going on with the Whites and everything that's happening, like with the club. And I'm a fan of your channel. I like your content. I love your watch alongs. I mentioned it with Jeer. Um, you just have a really good voice. Like when I'm listening to I'm like, dude, Ollie's voice is way better than these commentators, and he's a Leeds fan. So I'm gonna mute
Appreciate that.
this,
Thank you.
listen to Ollie, get me straight. Um, so yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. And another thing I forgot to tell you, I'll clip this up a couple times and throw it on Twitter, and then what was I gonna say? Oh, I'll throw it up on Spotify as well because I like to do more
Cool.
long form content.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Sounds
But
good.
dude, let me dig in, as I say in an American word
Let's
there,
go.
there,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I know I obviously have been watching your channel, but like and your dad, you've done watch alongs with your dad. So your dad
Mm.
got you into Leeds, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It was growing up, I was kind of that typical kid where whoever was really winning, I was supporting at the time. And unfortunately for us Leeds fans, Man United were winning a lot growing up, and I was a bit like, supported them, supported whoever won, basically. And my dad was like, this can't happen anymore. And it was back in January the 3rd, 2010 or 2009, where Leeds played Man United in the FA Cup. My
Oh
dad was like,
wow.
right, let's just settle this now. Whoever wins, you support. And I was like, okay, of course. Man United were going to win that, of course. Leeds win 1-0. Jermaine Beckford, January 3rd, remember the date. There's even a chant about it. And ever since that day, I've been, supporting the Mighty Whites, unfortunately.
Wow.
I
Man, the
know.
Jermaine Beckford goal got you as a fan. That's
Mm,
crazy. Wow. And I like how your dad's just like, all right, I'm just gonna let this play out. And then he's
yeah.
like, and he
I
sees
don't think
his
he had
son.
faith in Leeds either. And then we done it, and I was a bit like, okay, this is happening now. And then he bought me a shirt. Honestly, probably about a week or two later, and I supported Leeds and stuff, a bit because my dad did. But ever since that day, I've been fully on Leeds, and I would never turn now. It's such an amazing club, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it just really sucks you in. I just think the
Mm,
fans, the passion of the club, the kind of fight that everybody has, the fact that it's dirty Leeds and we're kind of
yeah.
like it's us against the world.
Mm.
Yeah, it just has sucked me sucked me in. It's just part of my and I I started following in the championship around Gary Monk era, and then I just was like, no, I'm sticking with it. I like this club.
Yeah.
I like what they're about, and I love the kit. I like
Yeah,
the
kit. The
badge.
thing is, kits are a big thing.
Yeah,
Especially as a kid, I was like, "That's a really cool kit. I'm going to support Fulham for the rest of the season or whatever." I would just,
yeah.
there's such a big influence. And talking of the Gary Monk era, it was like that was quite an underrated era. I thought. I think that got Leeds fans hooked again. I believe under Gary Monk. I don't know about you, but that's how I thought.
Yeah, it was like possibilities. I think
Mm,
people were feeling, and I think he carried himself well for most
yeah,
of that season, and probably should have. Well, he was probably going to get a another bite at the cherry, but he was a little bit. They called him a snake and stuff. So,
mm.
and then it was just poor football, and then with Heckingbottom and Christensen, and then Heckingbottom, and
Oh, Tom. Yeah, yeah, Thomas
then they
Christensen.
recruited Marcelo, and that was beautiful football,
Yeah, the rest is
and
history.
the rest the rest is history. And we're kind of into this modern era, but that's cool. So, what inspired you to start the channel? Like some of the OGs of the content Leads content world, LU no,
All Leeds TV?
All Leads TV,
Yeah,
and then obviously the breakaway of Joe and Connor, and
yeah.
I'm doing it mainly so I don't go crazy. I don't have anybody to talk footy with
Yeah,
or Leeds United, and I know you're down in. Have you been in Ipswich most of your life, or you
yeah,
just
that's the only place I've ever lived, yeah.
okay? And so are you doing it kind of for the same reasons you need to talk about Leeds, and there's not a lot of people besides maybe your
Well,
dad?
it's funny that actually in Ipswich, there's quite a lot of Leeds fans, to be fair. Well, as in, it's not like, I mean, it's mainly Ipswich fans, obviously, but there is quite a few Leeds fans. But no, I did start this back end of 2020, I believe, similar to you. I was going a bit crazy with the whole lockdown COVID thing. And I was like, I'd done a few channels before growing up, and they were just stupid channels, which I've taken the videos down because honestly, probably wouldn't pass in this modern day anyway. And then I thought, I'm gonna do something I'm passionate about, and it was actually my mate who does a channel himself. He's an Ipswich Town fan, Alex Griffin. He's coming up to 50,000 subscribers now. He's smashing it, and he was like, "You should do Leeds content, like because you love Leeds and you do good commentary and you do good things." And I'm like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, I try it." And since then, I mean, we've gained about 10,000 subscribers. Well, I'm on 10,000 subscribers now in about 2 and a bit years, which is just so cool. And yeah, I love talking about Leeds similar to you because it's just a bit of an escape as well. Just to talk to I don't even call them fans or subscribers, just talk to, in a weird way, 10,000 friends, but but all in the same boat. Do you know what I mean? And everyone has different opinions. I love reading the comments as well. The comments, and I try to reply to them all, but they're just so different, and everyone's got a point. And sometimes I get proven wrong by comments, and I just love it. I just think it's brilliant.
Yeah, there's every once in a while there'll just be really, maybe I'm obviously biased. I just think we have a really intelligent fan base,
Yeah,
and like really measured. Some of my favorite fans are like the fans that are super measured in comments, and like we can disagree, but at the end of the day we shake hands and that's that.
yeah.
Um
We do
there is
also,
some
if we,
toxicity, but
yeah, I was going
it
to say,
really isn't that much maybe on Twitter, but I
I
don't know.
think we do have, including myself, I think including a lot of people probably watching right now, we can be reactionary. We're Leeds fans. The amount
Yeah.
of time, I mean, I think against Forest, I was like, yep, we're staying up. And then we lose
Yeah.
against Palace. I'm like, right, let's get our championship season tickets sorted. You know what I mean? We all have a bit of reaction, but one thing I do think that Leeds fans are good at is the optimism. Like, I don't know about you, but Liverpool are coming to Ellen Road Monday and we're beating them. That's what I'm
Oh
thinking.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, as soon as the whistle blows, I want us to get stuck in and
Yeah,
get
exactly that.
get after them for sure. I like this comment. I'm just gonna throw it up there. Bandy's always, a MVP on me, and he said something about 43 years. Where can I find it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
53 years. Wow. Season
Wow.
following Leeds United. However, we're all created equal. See, that's the kind of stuff that just warms your heart.
Yeah, 100%.
Outside of his terrifying jumping spider that he has his profile, that he always has. Hey, all right, so let's get stuck into the current. Obviously, I'm exactly what you're saying. Like we thought we were kind of gonna get out of it with Forest. I thought we played well. We
Mm,
didn't. For me, I did a watch along. We didn't completely control that second half. We probably could. They could have equalized. Um, and then, but going into Crystal Palace, I thought we definitely had a chance, and obviously we played a decent 45, and then the heads kind of got lost. What were your thoughts on that game? It was quite a shocking second half.
yeah, see, I actually wasn't I wasn't in Ipswich that this weekend, or the weekend just gone, but I did manage to watch most of the game. First half, I thought this could be 3 or 4. Honestly, we're playing good football, and I was a similar same as you. I thought good win against Forest. We weren't our best, but we got 3 points, and that's all that's needed right now. But I was confident going into the Palace game, go 1-0 up early, and I knew we were going to concede near that half time. I even said to my mate who I was with, I was like, it'll be typical Leeds if we concede right on half time. And we did. And that was a bit of a change of flow. Obviously, these rumours flying around that there was a bust up at half time, players disagreeing, and that's what people have been saying. I don't know how much you can believe it, even if it is true. The players won't come out and say that. But yeah, it was really, it was worrying, I think is the word. Worrying how easy it was. And, teams around us, I'm not necessarily worried about Leeds. It's the teams around us that, pick up the points. And I don't know. I don't know. It was a really worrying second half. And, I don't think fixtures are going to be easy. I don't. But when you play like that, and you're making it hard for yourself from the get go. But it's a disappointing. I mean, to concede 5 against Crystal Palace. I don't ever remember the last time Crystal Crystal Palace actually scored 5 goals, and that's not even being insulting at Crystal Palace. You never tune into Match of the Day or highlights and see that Palace have scored 5, and they did put 5 past us. And it shows how, I don't know if we're going to get into this, but how important a player like Max Wober is for me. A leader, a centre back we need. But yeah, I just think, to sum it up, it was a very embarrassing 45 minutes for Leeds. Your mic's on mute, by the way, mate. It is still on mute. Shall I?
There you go.
There we are. There we are.
No, it was a tough watch, and yeah, that was a tough. It was like this for me. Like I was like I couldn't really watch it. Yeah, they just didn't. They weren't playing together. It was tough to see because I haven't seen their heads go like that.
No.
Even under Bielsa, maybe at the Liverpool game, their heads went, but that was at Anfield.
Yeah. It did look like in that second half we were watching 11 individuals play football. I didn't feel like we were watching a team. The midfield was so open. It was just I don't know. I really can't understand. It seems, I hope it's an anomaly and we don't perform like that for the rest of the season. But it was worrying that how quick that just turned. That first half, I was like, all right, we'll be fine. And then that second half was completely. I just hope it. Yeah, I hope it was just a bit of an off day. But conceding 5 at home against Crystal Palace, and then when your next game's Liverpool, it's definitely not a confidence boost for the team and the fans.
So you mentioned Wober. His health would be good. Did you see Javi's presser today?
I didn't watch it, but I saw the comments. Yeah.
He always plays it close to the vest, so there's never like he's just kind of like just the facts kind of guy.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if he did start against Liverpool. But I don't know.
I thought he cracked a little bit of a smile, but he's always being coy with the media because they're just asking questions, and then they ask again, and he's like,
I do like that about him, though. I do like that about him.
You got my answer.
Yeah.
No, I like that about him too, because it does surprise us. I think he will add a wrinkle into the starting lineup. I think there'll be I think you might see a Forshaw, you might see somebody like that. I think there'll be, because just when he came out against Arsenal, everybody was kind of okay. Same with Brighton. His starting lineups have always been just had a little bit of a wrinkle on there where you're like, I don't know how they're going to line up here. What's this player? This player's coming out of nowhere. So I think he might surprise either tactically in a formation or with his lineup, hopefully come out a little bit different.
Yeah, I think if we're being completely honest, I think since Grassi has actually become the Leeds United manager, we haven't done a lot wrong apart from the Palace game. Obviously, we lost against Chelsea. They were hitting a bit of a spell, and we thought maybe we could do something. But at the end of the day, it is still Chelsea. Who else did we lose against? Arsenal. And was there another one in there? Did we lose against? No, we didn't lose against Brighton, did we?
We drew 2-2.
Yeah, so there was Chelsea, Arsenal, and someone. Well, now Palace, obviously, but I think there was someone else. But I think he's been quite convincing. But I don't know about you. This is a bit of a weird comment, and I want to know your thoughts on it. Does it kind of still feel like Grassi is not really our manager? And I know that sounds like a weird thing, but I feel like because he so just gets on with it, and I don't know what about it is. I mean, I love him, and if he keeps us up, I'd like to see him have a summer and things. But I've got just weird thing where every time I think of the Leeds manager, like Jesse Marsh was such like a figure, he always had something to say. Bielsa was this god, and Grassi has kind of just calmed things down, and it kind of feels like I don't know. Am I being stupid, or do you
when you say not our manager? What do you mean?
As in, I don't really know what I mean. I don't believe
not like us.
No, I don't even believe that. I just think he's. To be honest, mate, I have no clue what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, I'll give you my thoughts. I kind of understand what you're saying. Because Bielsa was a massive figure. I mean, I remember watching his press conferences. It would be like, okay, I understand what And
Yeah,
then he
yeah,
would be
yeah. I
this
know.
long translation, and you're
Mm,
like listening to the translator. And sometimes Bielsa would go on, and he was like,
mm.
okay, the translator would be like, okay, you've given me like paragraphs to translate here.
Yeah.
Um, but and then Marsh obviously was Bielsa was close to the vest on some things, and then he's like, if you want to talk football, like to some of these guys, a
Mm,
la his big explainer press conference that happened in the documentary and everything after Spygate and all that.
yeah.
But like he would kind of go like, all right, you want to talk football? I'm going to give you this massive explanation for what
Mm,
I did and why I did it.
mm,
And then you'll be like, oh, because you just don't know football as well as I do.
yeah.
And then Jesse Marsh was, as an American to me, he was gimmicky. I saw through, he was very, we call it in America, coach speak. There was a lot of
Mm,
coach speak words, buzzwords that
yeah.
were, like, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes they went over well. He was good with the press at times, but like there
Mm.
was times where it was just like, shut up.
Yeah,
Like,
you need to
just
shut up now. Yeah, yeah.
you're not winning. So like no one cares, Jesse. Like just
Yeah,
go out and like keep these things to 15 minutes and get on with the day.
yeah. Well, that's what I kind
Um,
of mean with Gracia, as in like I feel like he's in the middle.
right,
I feel like he's in the middle, as in
right.
he kind of just does his presses, says what he says, and then kind of he does. And I think I was watching a couple of interviews with like Troy Deeney and Ben Foster, ex Watford, when he was there. That he doesn't have to shout at the players, he doesn't have to have a big presence, but he gets you to do what you're doing. And I really do respect him. And I personally do believe he will keep us up. And that's what I think. I think we need a bit of a. I feel like if Jesse Marsh, and that's no offense to Jesse, I didn't mind him when he was here, but it was time for him to go. I feel like if we had someone like him in the changing room right now, when there is rumours of busts up and players falling out, I don't think that would have been a very good idea right now. I feel like you need someone like Gracia who's just gone right. Let's just calm this down and yeah, and someone has said in the chat there, it's because he's not cemented yet, and I completely agree. And I feel that's still that thing where if we don't stay up, then he won't be here. I feel like that's how it will work. And if he does stay up, then we give him a summer, give him a contract, and yeah, I just don't like this uncertainty of this last 6-7 games, however many we've got left. And yeah, it's just horrible, isn't it? I just want to stay
Yeah.
up.
I don't want to, yeah, hopefully we don't have to do this next year.
Mm,
Um, yeah, a point, any kind of result against Liverpool would be absolutely massive. I've liked what he's done except for that 45, and I don't know if it's his fault
yeah.
all the way. The heads did kind of go in the second half.
Mhm,
Gier mentioned something last night that I thought was interesting, that uh Javi, because he's typically defensive, or even with the ball, he has like a game plan that once we go 1 to 2-0 down, his game plans are out the window, and he really can't do anything. And he said that. He said in the press conference, actually, he said once we let in the third goal, he said
mm,
we let in 2 goals within 3 minutes, and once we let in the third goal, he said I couldn't cope with anything, which was interesting to hear, because sometimes you think, well, make a substitution, change formation, close up shop. Um, so I don't know, but I think he's tactically smart. I like that he plays it close to the vest. I like that he's kind of a steady hand.
mm.
Um, I don't necessarily hand him a contract right now, but I'm open to it. I think we'll see how he does. I think it'll be, if we finish 17th, I think it'll be a debate. I
Yeah.
think it'll be a debate. If it's, if we're up by like 3 or 4 points,
Mhm.
I'd like it to be, if by some possible miracle we can not be sweating bullets on the last day of the season. If we could be just somehow like where we're no matter what happens on the last day, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, but that's not
Um,
Leeds, though, is it? That's not Leeds. Leeds needs to take you right down to the last minute of the last game on the last day of the season.
yeah,
Yeah. I agree. If we just stay up by the skin of our teeth type of thing, I think it is a debate, obviously. But he has come in with not a lot of games, and I think the games that he has managed, I believe that we've looked a lot better. There seems to be a system, a shape, and I think after a while we do have to start just looking at the players, really, because none of these players are his players. In fairness,
Yeah. That'll be another interesting thing. Everybody's been
Mm,
calling for to completely revamp the back line. I think that's that's fair. I'm
mhm,
at the point where, for whatever reason, and again, I talked about this last night. I said, I rated all these players after Bielsa's first year. I rated Diego Llorente. I rated Robin Koch. I rated Pascal.
mm,
Some of the guys that have been here, even Cooper.
mm,
Um, but and we were keeping clean sheets, and it was like, yeah, but it was the bubble season. You had like coaches, 3 or 4 coaches, like yelling at them, telling them what to do,
yeah,
and you could clearly hear their orders and everything. And so it's like, actually speaks to Bielsa's tactical brilliance to coach those players on the sideline,
yeah.
and tell them what to do, and like really kind of manage us to ninth. Is
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that was an amazing season. I think no one can argue that first season back in the Premier League we finished ninth, and I think that was you know, a bit like I don't know. I can't disagree with where we finished because obviously it was a fantastic season. I do feel like again it was a bit of a hit, really, a bit of an anomaly, a bit of a good season. But we can't argue we were turning teams over. In fairness, we were doing very well. But like you said, it everyone always kind of writes off that season, don't they? A bit, but um, yeah,
it
it's
was great
difficult.
too because it was COVID, and it was
Yeah.
like we could watch something, and this was giving us like massive amounts of joy while we're
Oh yeah. Imagine if we
isolated.
were playing how we're playing now in COVID times. I mean, I would. It just yeah. I mean, it made lockdown and things actually all right when Leeds were playing well. But I do believe, as a fan base, probably as a club, as a whole, we're still very loyal to the promotion team. Your Liam Coopers, your Luke Aylings, your Patrick Bamfords, which we can't argue they all have their qualities. They have their weaknesses. Um, Still, a few of these players are Jesse's players.
Yeah.
And when people are saying about the back line, I think I do agree to some extent. I think some players do deserve to stay in there, and I think we have scapegoats as well. When Coops was lining up with Koch, Koch could put in an awful performance, but everyone be like, "Oh, Cooper, we need to get him out of the team." And it's like some people are loyal and disloyal to the wrong players. I think every player deserves criticism if they haven't played well, but also the praise should be as loud as well. I think that Jack Harrison in recent weeks, people were saying no, should have gone to Leicester, should have gone to Leicester. Puts a couple of good performances in, and now we're saying this is why he stayed, this is why he needs to start. So football's a fickle game. It's a game of it's short-term memory is football. So if you win games and you perform well and you put an effort in, especially in front of them Leeds fans, that's all the Leeds fans want. And it was a disappointing, last game to lose 5-1, but we're going to come in numbers. We're going to support the team come Monday night. So I think
Oof.
it's
God,
it's
that's
going to
gonna
be
be it's gonna be a sexy game to
yeah,
me.
it's going to be a very sexy
Liverpool
game.
versus Leeds under the lights, Monday Night
Mm,
Football.
mm.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be
It's going to be
tasty.
so good. It's going to be very
Yeah,
good. But
yeah.
yeah, I
And
don't know why.
Marching
Yeah,
On Together is gonna go up. Like it's gonna be good.
get
So
excited.
hopefully, if the players have a relegation fight, but like if you're not getting up for that game, walking out of the
Oh,
tunnel, right?
yeah, yeah. And
And it
like
might be you know what? It might be the perfect medicine. You
It
know
mi
what I
it
mean?
might be, and we're not favourites, and I
Yeah.
think Leeds play better when we're not favourites. We went into that Palace game thinking this is that was probably the most confident I've been this season that Leeds are gonna come away with 3 points that Palace game, and it backfired absolutely. So, I don't think a lot of people are too confident going into the Liverpool game, um, and let's shock them, and let's try and do something. Obviously, we've done it at Anfield this season. Why can't we do it at Ellen Road? Imagine if we could turn over Liverpool twice in one season. That'd be fantastic.
Wow. To take 6 points off them, that would be.
That'd be huge.
Crazy to see.
Mm.
I think a Disabled Team, shout out to Disabled Team. Subscribe to Disabled Team if you haven't already. They do some great long form content. I like it because it's balanced and everybody gets a chance to talk. I think Grazia would be ideal even if we do get relegated. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice to give him a chance in the championship. I think he's got enough tactical
I wouldn't
know-how.
be against that at all. I think that what I was more passing on saying is that would the board do that? Would the board think, would they be quite fickle with it and go, "Oh, you got us relegated. You're not here anymore." I think if we actually switched on, I believe that he would be very good in the championship, definitely.
Yeah, it would be nice to have some what is it, like balance, but like consistency, because I think the team would probably turn over a little bit if we were to get relegated.
Oh
And
yeah,
I think that
100%.
the transition of probably, knock on wood, the probable transition of the ownership.
Yeah,
So you're kind of having like squad and ownership transition. It'd be
mm,
nice to just maybe have the coaching staff be consistent and have
yeah,
him build again. Like it's just small things. Like when you take a job, like, I mean, you don't know where like the facilities are. You don't know where
yeah.
like different things are. Where's this
Does
office?
play a
Where's
big
HR?
factor. Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
plays a big factor because people forget that, as they get millions, thousands, whatever, but they're still human. Do you know what I mean? They are still human after, they are still human. So they do go through them same things that, me and you would. And I'm just good. Sorry to interrupt you, but
You're
this
fine.
thing, I said it in my video yesterday that I uploaded. This whole thing about, when players start to get like a certain attitude where if we did get relegated, 9, 10 of them players will turn around and say, I'm not playing in the championship. And I've never understood that because you're the reason we are now in the championship as a club. And now you're suddenly too good to be playing in the championship. But you clearly weren't good enough for the Premier League if we're going down.
Right.
And I know I don't know, that's a bit of a weird comment to make, but I never understood that. You either put your effort in, you keep us up and make us a Premier League side and prove why you're a Premier League player, or you've got to come down the championship with us and you've got to get us back up there. That's what I always think. Do you
That'd
know
be
what I mean?
great.
That's what I always
Yeah.
think. I'm thinking like, don't think you're suddenly too good when we've just finished bottom. Do you know what I mean? Don't think you're too good for the Premier League when you're on all this money. And you've got us relegated. Come down to the championship, score 40 goals there and get us back up, please. That's what I want.
I know, exactly. Actually a player that I think would be definitely should not move if we go down, and I'm biased too because it is Brendan Aronson. I think he should definitely stay with us because I
Mm.
think he would learn a lot in the championship, but
Oh yeah.
hopefully we stay up.
He'd be brilliant in the championship. Let's go away. We're not getting relegated. We're
Let's
not
not,
getting relegated. We're staying up.
Glenn says his personality didn't suit us. I think you're talking about Jesse's too motivational speaker. Players can see through that stuff. Yeah. It might have worked maybe initially, but that was about it. John Crawford says, Ollie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Shout out to you, John. Yeah. Agents will have been preparing that for possibility of months. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, it's all about the money, unfortunately. So Vober out. I think him and Tyler Adams, those two players right in the middle in the spine of the team, I thought was really, it's just difficult to cope. Not only are they literally in the middle of the pitch, they are on-field leaders.
Yep.
And Luke's been out of form. I don't want to have a huge, massive Bill Ailing debate with you, but like, what do you think there? Like, well, let me ask you, do you make any changes? Like, do you start Christensen, or is there anywhere else on the pitch that you kind of look to make a switch to the starting lineup
for Monday's game?
Yeah.
I think if we've got to be brutally honest, Luke Ayling has not been up to form in recent games. I think I saw a stat. I can't remember the exact figures, but it was a lot of individual errors, as in his own individual errors that have led to goals.
They look like they're targeting him, right? Like there's times where it's off the pit, like off the kickoff. They'll just shoot. They'll just start continuing shooting balls down his end.
Yeah, and I think he is again an easy scapegoat when something goes wrong.
Right.
People blame Ayling, but also you've got to put your hands up and say, yeah, he has made these mistakes. And yes, he's a leader on the pitch, But I do believe Rasmus should start on Monday night. I think he's made too many mistakes now, and he just looks two steps behind. I believe if someone's running at him, he just does something like he just doesn't look. He looks old in a horrible way. He looks like the Premier League is getting to him a bit. That's one area I would maybe improve at the right back. That the back line really wasn't brilliant. I thought Firpo had another all right game, but how well will he face up against Salah? That's going to be difficult. But Firpo, he's looked okay. Back two, I don't know who he's going to start with, but they need to switch on as well. And it's I think when you concede 5 goals, it isn't like we've just lost 2-1 to Palace. When you've conceded 5 goals, I think a lot of them players need to look at themselves. It isn't just the back line. I think it's not just another game. It is a bit of a wake up call, and I think we've got loyalties to players. Like, I know it would be silly to drop someone like Sinister or Jack Harrison, and I wouldn't, but they've got to know that their place isn't safe when you lose 5-1. And I know as fans in the Premier League, especially, we've become a bit accustomed to conceding 4, 5, 6, 7 goals each week. And as fans, as a club, that shouldn't become just this regular thing that happens with this team. Like, oh, we played Arsenal, we lost 4-1. Well, at least it wasn't 5 type of thing. And that's not what I want this club to be. If we lost to Palace 2-1, you would have kicked yourself and been like, oh, but this team will go again. I think I know I don't like to overreact over results, and I know come Monday that will all go out the window. But I do think we've got to look at this team and think, I think you've got to put 11 fighters out there on Monday. That's what you've got to do. But yeah, would I make any real changes? I believe Rasmus maybe should start, but is Rasmus better than Ayling at the moment? And Cody Drama looks like he might be going. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we just maybe let's just stick someone like Somerville at right back for a game. I don't know. I don't know.
What do you think of Nanto? Do you give Nanto a start? And what do you think of his possible antics and such?
Nanto has been a breath of fresh air. Really, I think he's been very, very good. I don't know how much Gracia doesn't. I wouldn't say likes him, but he's not getting that. He's not getting as much game time as he was under Marsh, which is okay. But I don't know. I really like him. I believe that there is a lot of transfer speculation. I read something yesterday that if Leeds go down, Nanto will leave, and I'm like, well, obviously, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be kicking around the Championship. Neither, like I said, 9 or 10 of these players. But I think you've got to. I think he'll play a very important role in these last few weeks of the Premier League, and we've got to give him more time. But he's still young. But yeah, I really like him. What's your thoughts?
I like him. I think he's like Saka. I think he could be like how Saka was for Arsenal. I know it's levels, right? We're not necessarily Arsenal with that type of depth.
Yeah.
But in 09 I'm sorry, 09 in 2020 when in that bubble season, it seemed like Arsenal could only really express itself by giving it to Saka. And here's this and he moved around. He played wing back at times too, but I just think that that's where he could be headed, and I'd like to see a little bit. It's tough too because he's an emotional player and he wears his kind of emotions on his sleeve a little bit. But
don't you think we need that the last few games? I think that could be important.
Maybe. Yeah.
But also he's very hot-headed. He is very hot-headed.
I mean, which is weird because Rafinha was like that a little bit, but
he does remind me of Rafinha. He does.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say to that standard. I think Rafinha, was like he was. I watched him play live a few times. Going to the actual stadium. I've never watched a player like Rafinha. I thought he was absolutely fantastic, and Nanto has definitely got the potential to be that. But he can score goals. He can assist goals. He's got passion. I think
put a cross in.
Yeah,
and put decent crosses in. I think in 3 to 4 years, you're going to be looking at like an incredible. He's going to be starting for Italy.
Yeah,
he's going to be like like the next World Cup, he's going to be like he's not going to be like the world star or whatever. He's not going to, I'm not saying he's going to be a Ballon d'Or winner, but I think he's going to be borderline world class.
Well, we're seeing what he can do at this age. Do you know what I mean? And he's only going to get better. And I mean, fingers crossed, touch wood and everything, that he doesn't get a horrible injury or something. But I can only see him get better. And what's your? I mean, I never. It's literally just coming to my mind right now. But could you play Nonto in a 2 up top? I would like to see that. I think he sometimes can be wasted out on the wing. Yes, he's brilliant at driving at defenders, but I think he's got a good shot on him. I think he could, remember like the Peter Crouch, Jermaine Defoe type of thing. Maybe he could have a big striker next to him. I don't know if he'll get bullied a bit too easily against big centre backs, but what would your thoughts be if we played Nonto
Wow,
with a
that's
2
an
maybe?
interesting one. Jeers always said that as well, and that he'd like to play him more centrally, maybe in the 10 or a false 9 or second 9. That
Yeah.
would be interesting to see long term.
Mm.
Yeah, that would be. I don't know. I'm so kind of like married to him on the wing, although he usually plays in Sinisterra's spot. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll
It's
see.
difficult. And like,
If you're yeah. If
oh,
you're
sorry.
good
Yeah.
at No, if you're good at going, that was Jeer's thought. Like if you're good at going around people on the wing, you're probably good at going around people in the middle of the park. Like and you can put a shot on goal. So
Yeah, 100% that. And I think it's a thing where Cini and Harrison are playing really well at the moment, in fairness to them both. But I think with Nonto, we've kind of got to use him now. Last few games, we have to use him because it could be the last few games with Willie Nonto. And why wouldn't you use that talent? I'm not saying he's guaranteed leaving in the summer. I'm not saying that at all. But you don't want to make that risk where for the last, is it 8 games or is it 7 games?
I believe it's 8.
8 games.
It's 8. Yeah.
Last 8 games, I don't believe you can not use his ability on the pitch. I think we're going to have to need it. And similar, I'm looking in the chat. Somerville as well is another one where I really do like Somerville. I think he's come into himself a lot. I did think I didn't really understood the hype when he first started to play. If I was completely honest, I thought he was quick, thought he looked a bit skillful, but I thought he got bullied off the ball quite a lot. I think he's definitely improved that, and I like to see him get in and around that first team. Don't know if he starts ahead of Cini or Harrison as of right now, but why wouldn't we use these youngsters? Why wouldn't we use these technical players the last 8 games? We're going to need them, and we're going to need to use, and that's what I mean with players like Nonto. We need to use his talent for these last games because it could keep us up.
Absolutely. Disabled team said that Aileen's concentration levels have dropped. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And then I appreciated every time Rasmus gets the ball, it's like time slows down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of get that as well. We basically need a new right back, really, don't we?
Yeah. I see both sides to this.
Yeah.
And Aileen still can sometimes get up the pitch. I mean, I see the value in that as well.
Yeah, no, Aylin can. And similar to Rasmus got a couple of goals back to back, didn't he, against Wolves and Arsenal? Like he loves a goal, but it's fine. A lot of our players are all right attacking wise. It's the other
end
thing. Yeah, Firpo's a brilliant attacking left back, and similar to Christensen and Ayling, they're decent, attacking right backs. It's just we now need to get good defenders.
Yeah. Is Somerville fit? I believe so. I haven't heard anything on him. The question marks, I think, might be Junior for concussion, and I think Willie might have tweaked his ankle. I was hearing that.
Yeah, I'm not too in the loop with the injury news. In all honesty,
he keeps it so tight. You don't know. You really don't know who can show up. Yeah, go ahead.
I kind of respect that. Keep your, like you said, keep your cards close. I do respect that, and us knowing is not going to change anything, is it?
Right.
So we find out, an hour before kickoff who's starting, who's on the bench, and I like it like that. Let's keep it like that.
Yeah, the social media managers probably like it too. They're like, we're getting incredible hits now because we.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly.
People are showing up on the bench in the starting lineup. So, yeah. So I think I'm gonna we'll probably end it fairly soon. what do you think about the game, though? You're probably gonna. You don't have to give me a score line or anything like that, but do you think that you think we obviously got a chance, right?
I
How?
think.
Go ahead.
No. What are you gonna say?
No, like how do you think we're gonna play? What do you think's gonna
I
play out?
think whatever game it is, it's a game of football at the end of the day. I think you've always got a chance. Whatever happens, I think we need. I'm not going into it too optimistic at all. I'm thinking I would like to see a decent display with if we could pick up a point that would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but also, it does depend how we play. I can sit here and say, "Oh, we don't really deserve much. They're Liverpool, whatever." But if we dominate, and think, "Oh yeah, well, maybe we could have got." If we get a point, and maybe we could have got three. It's things like that. But I think, if I'm being completely honest, you know, I do. If I was to make a prediction on a win, draw, or
You don't
loss,
have to.
No, I'm going to.
All
I'm
right,
going
do
to.
it. Here we go. This is why you tune in right here.
Should I just say, you know what? I'm going to say, so come back to this when it happens 2-1 to Leeds again. Yeah, leave. Off you go. 2-1 to Leeds. I want this clipped up when we win.
That's
Also,
it.
don't clip it up if we lose because I'll look like I don't know anything, lose thousands of subscribers. But yeah, let's go 2-1 Leeds. Why not?
2-1 Leeds.
I
Wow,
think
that
that's
would be
crazy.
incredible.
Yeah.
And we would get 6 points off of Liverpool and
Yeah. I mean, half of this I've been talking about when we go back down to the championship, but now I think we're going to go beat Liverpool. But there we are. That's the
that's
fun we get here.
yep, that's Leeds. And no, I think all I want whenever I say about like these matches, all I want is the team guys to put in shifts, fight for the
Mm,
shirt, fight for each other, put in a
yeah,
good performance. That's
and
all I'm really
if you do
I'm
that, Leeds fans will respect you and Leeds fans will love you. If
right.
it's that thing where if you put in a good performance, effort, play for the shirt. A team like Leeds, a club like Leeds, that's all you want to see. You know when Weston McKennie made that slide tackle? Was it Forest game?
Yeah, there was a couple of them, but yeah,
That was up there with one of the goals. I was like, "Go on!" And we all love a little tackle. We all love a bit of
he's
passion.
had some really good well-timed tackles. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's
he's
what
a
I respect.
he's a physical player. He grew up playing American football with
I
pads and
see.
stuff. That was his
Mm,
like love. He literally believes that he would have been able to make that professionally as well. I think he's a player that eventually likes to get forward more, but
yeah.
he's has to cover for Tyler who's out. So I think
Mm,
he's going to be more of a defensive midfielder. I don't think you're going to see him. Maybe he's going to get a goal or two from a set piece across a
yeah.
corner. Maybe because he can be good tactic airily. What's interesting, I think he's finding out though, at least for me in England, like in the Premier League, when the corners come in, anything goes. Like
Mm,
there are fouls happening,
yeah.
and they never really pull
I've
unless
got a
the
lot of time
goalie.
for.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah, no, I've got a lot of time for McKennie. I think
good.
he gets it. He does get a bit of stick, but also, you know, it is what it is. It is it's a difficult league, and I think
Well,
if we
people are
do stay
saying like,
up,
"Where's the goals?" It's like,
yeah,
it's tough.
yeah,
It's not like,
it is tough,
yeah,
and you can look at half our team and say where are the goals if we're
yeah,
being completely honest. But yeah, I think it would be brilliant if we stay up and we do sign him. I think that would be and have a summer with him. And he's already. I don't know if you've seen the transition since he's joined. How much weight he's lost already. I don't know if you saw that the
I
photo
really
on Twitter. Yeah,
I
in
didn't
like
see that,
two
but
months, he's not. He was quite a big boy when he first joined us, but now he's big, but he looks like he will just kick you. Like
yeah,
he looks like he'll run into you. And yeah, I've got a lot of time. I've got a lot of time for McKennie. I've got a lot of time for all the team, but we need to now. We've got time for them, so they need to now.
yeah.
Start doing stuff for us.
Well, there's a lot on the line for him in particularly, like because either he keeps Leeds up or helps keeps Leeds up, and he gets that big money deal, whether it's probably with Leeds or with another club or
Mm,
somebody will probably come in for him, or he's going to go down, and I don't. He's either going to go back to Juve on a lesser deal, or another club like will get him for less, or maybe he'll go back to Germany where he first started playing football.
Mm.
So yeah. So what do you think? Are you going into broadcasting? You got the internship, is that correct, at the BBC?
Yeah, well, at the moment, I'm doing I'm local radio. I'm doing like BBC stuff, so I'm getting chances to do broadcasting and things like that.
Like
I think being cool.
production stuff?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is
Yeah.
my apprenticeship. It's to be, I think it's a production assistant apprenticeship, and I'm doing production. I'm doing on air bits, and soon, hopefully that will come into a big thing in the end, and I can maybe one day, you never know, you might hear me on a match of the day or something, or or equivalent. But yeah,
Are you
you never
tech
know.
savvy? You probably a tech savvy guy for
Wow,
the
not
production stuff
really.
sometimes.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, not really. I'm okay. I'm very basic, but
all right.
and that's why I can talk, because I let all the other things happen, and I can just put a microphone in front of me for an hour and I can speak. But I'm not the best tech savvy at all, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, that's all that some of that stuff, helps. And then, yeah, I mean, I did a internship at a sports radio station in where my hometown, Kansas City, and it kind of just got me into it. But like stuff like this, YouTube, like nothing was happening really. Like we couldn't really podcast. None of that was really,
No.
really, really coming off. Now, like you can buy a mic for, I don't know, $100 or something, and
Yeah.
press a button on your computer, you're ready to go.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
Um, uh, Bandy says 49-0 Leeds. Okay. All right. 2-2 is Michael Pollard. We don't keep a clean sheet. Boy, it would be nice to. I would be nice to. It'd be nice to nick maybe a 1-0.
Mm.
A point would be fantastic. Joe just wanted to see positive reaction. 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2 personally. I don't know. We'll see. Javi, he's had a few different formations. I think he had like a back three to a back five kind of formation thing going.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what he's gonna do something weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
And I'm
like
ready for it.
yeah, and I was kind of like, by the way, 25 of you in here. If all 25 of you like it, it just kicks the algorithm on and lets other people know that we went live. But yeah, I wasn't planning on watching the Arsenal game. I was like, Arsenal was in such top form, but I was like, that lineup came up. I'm like, I kind of got to see what this guy's doing
Yeah.
with this team.
Yeah.
No striker. I'm like, this could be great. And
Mm.
obviously we didn't get the win, but yeah. Best of luck, says Glenn on
Thank you, Glenn.
the BBC.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. But yeah, I'm not losing the roots. Still doing the YouTube. You know what I mean? That's the goal, obviously, YouTube. But I need to. If I'm being completely honest with myself, I've been slacking. But I need to get back on it. That's why I wanted to come on and do this with you.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Yeah,
please. You do great. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge fan of your watch alongs. If you do them,
I appreciate it.
they help
Yeah.
me too. Like, just, I mean, again, like, there's, there always seems to be a bias against Leeds, in my opinion. So it helps me stay sane. And then, like, I got a little one. So
Yeah.
like sometimes I can't watch, so I'll just throw an earbud in, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I've
No,
got
I
him, I'm
respect that.
managing him, and I'm like, got Ollie in my ear. So
Oh, bless. No, the thing is, with my watch alongs, I try. A lot of people actually, some people don't really like it because I'm a Leeds fan, but I like to commentate like if anyone's watching it,
right.
they will just. So I'm not. Sometimes there's a bit of bias there by going, oh no, we've just conceded. But I like to see what's on my screen, and I'll compliment a pass or a goal if it's come from an opposition team. I just try and be,
Do
me, and
what you're
just try
good
and
at,
do.
do what you
Yeah.
love. That's the key. Like,
I never want
um,
Leeds to lose, though. Obviously, I'm not going, "Oh, what a goal, yeah, Leeds does," but I'll be completely honest with it, and yeah, I like to just, if people are coming in, they can't watch the game. I want to tell you what's going on the pitch, and that's what I try and do. But I
yeah,
need to. I mean,
you'll
it's
be,
difficult because Joe is an absolute powerhouse with the watch
yeah,
along. So if he's on a watch along, then a lot of people go to that. And shout out to Joe because he
yeah,
deserves it. He's so
yeah.
good.
Joe does an excellent job. I listen to
Mm,
him too as well.
of course.
But yeah, man, that guy's beast mode in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just do what you love, man. That's what I
Mm.
say. Because I like the long form content. It's not as like popular as like, the rumor mill or, I don't know, 10-minute takes or 5-minute takes and stuff.
Yeah.
But I just like have long form conversation about Leeds. I
Yeah.
know there's other people that like to do different stuff. Um, so yeah, I mean, just if you love it, just do it.
100%.
Liverpool play a 4-3-3. We need to match them up. Can't lose the midfield battle. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I'm blowing up. I gotta go, I guess. But Ollie, thanks so much for coming on.
No worries. I really enjoyed it.
Everybody for joining us here live. And like I said, I'm gonna download this, throw it up on Spotify, hopefully either tonight or tomorrow. And then I might clip a couple of things up, just some takes that we had, and throw it up on Twitter. And
And if the
man,
score prediction,
the score prediction, I'll tell you what, man, if you get that right, either way, even if it's any kind of Leeds win, I'll clip it up. And
or even if I'm completely wrong, then maybe you can make a viral clip out of it if you want.
That's it. Ollie, thanks so much, man. I'm glad we were able to connect. And let's stay in touch.
Yeah, appreciate that. 100%, man.
Be well, man. I'm gonna end the broadcast. Thanks, everybody.